Gotta love coffee time. Hello, everybody. Thought I would, I don't know, start it off a little different, trying to let the music blend in and still try to start at 8. I don't know. 8 my time, anyways. Autumn Beauty, first comment. Hello. Lizzie Boy, I guess. Ayo. Nasem. Ella. The Sunshine Fee. Cindy Radu. Amy K. Hello to everybody, by the way. Martin Sestre. Ness again. Melanie. Nicole, if you have the H in there. It's kind of funny that way. Cindy Radu again. Hello, everybody. Fantastic. Going to do some Q&A at the end of all this, so I hope you guys are groovy with that. Lisa Marie, welcome. Pretty Girl. Pretty Girl's funny because I used to have a bird, and we taught him to say a number of things, but Pretty Bird was one, but Pretty Girl just always makes me think of that. For some reason, I know, it's not really the same, but my mind works that way sometimes. Hey, by the way, FYI, guys, any help I would be appreciated by anybody, but I did do a new channel. It's got some crazier stuff. I call it On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. I'm going to keep that going. But it's just a little bit of the wilder stuff. Right now I'm kind of doing stuff on the Law of One. I've talked about it before. It's pretty crazy and pretty deep. There is a link below. If you guys could check out, maybe even sub if you don't mind. I just it gets me up to a certain point, and then I can monetize the channel, and life is groovy and makes everything fun that way. But needless to say, appreciate all you guys. Talking about everything flows from the sender back to sender, really. And the one thing, because I'd like to do a little quick show before we get into the Q&A, but one of the things a lot of us, I think, forget is that we send out stuff constantly. So a lot of times, maybe in the case of thinking about someone in particular, someone that's special to us, maybe we'll think of them and we'll feel that love and we'll feel all that wonderful feeling and that living in the end. We frequently talk about it. You send that out in the world. That feels good, first off, when they experience it. I've talked about thought transmissions, right? And anytime you think of somebody, you create a connection to them. And that connection allows you guys to experience each other like instantly. And it's not time. And they could be on the moon and you could be here and you could still do it just as quickly. So it's very, very cool when we do that. So what we're sending out directly affects like the specific person in that case, but it also affects others, believe it or not. The person that you experience at Starbucks, the guy that works at the gas station, right? That cop that's always at the street corner or whatever. I don't know how your city is, right? But there's something about your day that sometimes you react to. Me driving sometimes, right? Might experience some crazy drivers. I was just driving yesterday, went out to one of the casinos out with the girlfriend and had a great time actually. Lobster. We got the meal for like $30. That was amazing. I ended up winning. I don't know. I think overall I probably won about $250 and maybe gave back 50 and then gave the girlfriend some money to gamble with and then paid for everything and still went home with extra money. So life was good, right? But traffic sucked. So a lot of the times we experience these certain things. Now, when we look back at what caused them, sometimes that can be a little harder to find, but what we do know is when we react to them, when something crazy happens to us and we get angry or we send out daggers of hate again, or we do some sort of reaction that's negative, like I just got cut off, so now I'm going to cut him off, right? When we do that kind of behavior, now there's a causation. Now we can see ourselves doing it, and then we get to experience it again later. A lot of us feel like when we react to things that we're just being justified in the fact that we're responding to this individual that acted a certain way, or we're responding to a boss that was mean or didn't let me have a day off. But what we forget is we create everything first. Whether we remember what we did or not, we do. And a lot of people are like, how can I get better at this? Well, one is realizing that what we focus on, what our consciousness is, what we're sending out, we get back. The adage was when I was growing up in the whole spiritual circles is what you send out, you get back 10 times, tenfold. So I was always under the impression that sending out good stuff, being good to one another, blah, 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 generally works to my benefit. And gosh golly, it has. I've really done well with that. I can't recommend it enough. But when you think about all the things we do in life that maybe we're interested in, a lot of us, for sure, specific person, and a lot of us are very interested in specific people. What kind of feelings are you having with them when they react a certain way? When they don't text? Do you get angry? Like, what are we sending out? Because that is what you're going to experience back. Love, in the case of our specific people, love is forgiving. Love is kind. Love lets us fly. Love lets us forgive. Love lets rational thought fly out the window. Love is crazy, and it's awesome. And when you really let go of it, it's like a current. It's like a flow. You just go with it, and it feels so awesome. But when you fight and resist and try to get even and try to make them feel a certain way, or not mad that I didn't get my text message, or, right, when we start coming at it from that angle, we start to kind of lose sight of what it really is to be in love. And we don't realize that by reacting and by holding anger, we send that back out. The same can be said of money. How often are we looking at an opportunity to do something that we know we can do, but we go, I just don't have the money. You can do it. And really, money's a flow. Again, that kind of comes back to sending it out, not just sending it out and it comes back. But a lot of the times, the only way to get something back and multiplied, money's a great example, and it's not necessarily spending inappropriately. Stay within your means is really important. But understand that flow and abundance comes from that, I've got the money to do this. Yeah, I probably could save it too, but man, this would really be good and it would just be a blast to do. And things you'll find that money starts to flow back through you. Or a bill shows up in your face and you're like, now I got to buy a water heater or whatever, right? Well, now all of a sudden there's an ability to do that. And you'll find that all of a sudden you just got an extra check or something happened. And money starts to flow. It's not about instantly getting rich and instantly having thousands of dollars in the bank. It's about generating a flow, love, a flow of love. And what you do is you send out the flow. You start it. And you start it within your means. Love, within your means, right? If it's hard to totally forgive and forget, well, okay, work on some ho'oponopono, work on this and that, do some self-love, whatever. Try to get that flow started, and it starts to feed itself. Money's the same. Kindness. You have a problem people being mean to you? Look at how you're being. Look at what you're reacting. Because the second you react, you start a new flow, right? That's the moment where you turn the circuit on, right? And that's you. And you just turn the circuit on with, well, if you, right? And you're like, okay. So we need to stop. When the opportunity arises and that person flips you off that you drive by every day, instead of flipping them off back, unless it's funny, right? Because I think you can do it comically and then it doesn't matter anymore. It takes away the sting. But if you're doing it back, right, and throwing that finger back at them, don't one day. And watch how things start to change. The second you disturb the continuity, the second you take away the flow of the bad direction by not responding, it actually starts to disintegrate quickly. The same goes with the good flow, by the way. It's very quick to disintegrate a good flow, too, by a bunch of negative thoughts. And really the trick is getting used to getting in the habit, getting in the habit of doing that and paying attention to what we're doing and saying and thinking. A lot of us sometimes throw lack and limitation. I'll tell you what, abundance is 100% of the time. That's what's funny with lack thinking is it's this thinking of scarcity, but what you're doing is you're abundantly manifesting scarcity. And so that's the difference. But it's always abundant. And I said, it's the flow. And sometimes if things don't seem like they're going right, look at where you're reacting. Look at the times that you're saying things to people and going, you're right, and getting upset and angry. Look at how you're responding to the world. Because what we send out comes back to us. And one of the things that I think is key, and here's kind of where we'll kill it. Pretty short show, frankly. But one of the things that's key about this whole process is it benefits us most. Trying to forgive your specific person, guess who that benefits? You, the most, by far, hands down. When we can stop our negative thinking, when we can stop our anger, whatever it takes to do that, ho'oponopono, astral letters, throwing dust at things, I don't know, flour at your face, right? Like maybe that makes you, and you laugh now, and now you feel good. Whatever it takes to get ourselves to do something different is perfect. But it's while we hold on to these old habits, these old traits, we keep sending out crap. Then we get crap back tenfold. I don't know, just to use the adage, because I've used it and it works well for me. Because I'll tell you, when we send good stuff out, when you're there to help somebody, when you're there to make a difference, when you're trying to bridge a gap, you'll find that the world will collide, the world will come together to benefit and help you. when we're in these negative thought spins, these bad thoughts, it's funny how the entire world seems against us. It's the flow. And that's how you know where your flow's at, is by what you're experiencing. You might be experiencing bad things once in a while, but still in a good flow. Don't take that wrong. There's changes that happen in our life. Things happen. Relationships occur. Third parties come into play sometimes to teach lessons. Sometimes we lose jobs, so we go and find another one. Life happens in the process of us unfolding our dreams. Your dream is this thing, I want to make more money, right? Well, okay, your current job's going to go. And if you're not willing to leave it, you might get fired. And you might go, this sucks. I got to find a new job. And bam, end up with a job doing more what you like, more along the lines of what you're here to do, and making more money. And then you start to see the patterns. You start to see, oh, I totally started that whole thing, and I was resistant to leaving. Or I was resistant. We're looking for a relationship. Sometimes we spend time trying to mold somebody else, when in reality, we just need to let go, and maybe sometimes relationships need to part. It happens. A lot of people have broken up with relationships. I mean, I'm not trying to say that's the case here. I'm just saying a lot of situations occur in life because we're transitioning to the dream that we're creating. We have to be open to that. We've got to pay attention to what we're sending out. And when we do, you will find the benefit is back to us. We are all one. What we send out, what we do to another, we do for ourselves. There's a lot of phrases and old cliches that all add up to the same thing. What you send out reflects back on your face. And if you're sending up good stuff on your face, like kisses, it's like angel kisses smacking you in the face all the time. And you're just like, oh my God, it's pelting me with angel kisses. And it feels wonderful. But when it's not, it's like a hailstorm on your face, right? It's like a sandstorm. Sandblasted. It's not good. Change what we're putting out there. Change what we're sending. And gosh golly, you will be amazed. Gosh golly, I know. That kind of strong language. That's what this whole situation just brought about. So anyway, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Please, questions and whatnot. I appreciate seeing them. I'm just going to start working down here and see what you guys type in. There's a small delay, obviously, so I've got to stall on my side a wee bit. But Lisa Marie, happy Thanksgiving to you as well, by the way. Let's see. Night here in India. I know it sucks. It's like, what, I think it's 10 and a half, 12 hours? I don't know, 12 and a half hours. I don't know why there's a half-hour difference. I've asked many of my Indian friends those questions, and they're like, yeah, I don't know. They just smile. I don't know. I don't know why we do that. It's all right. Here in the United States, we have our own measurement system. Yeah, and we just make up all sorts of stuff. We're like, the rest of the world and your metric system that makes sense and is based off of tens. No, we're going to do ours differently. Whatever. Let's see. Nicole, love your channel. I love you. Oh, yeah, you've been over there commenting. I appreciate that. And by the way, guys, thank you. On the Fringe, new channel. If you can help me with the sub number at least. I get some of you guys may not necessarily like what I'm talking about because it is on the fringe. It's the on the edge stuff. Like the second session of Law of One, by the way, is talking about the Great Pyramids and how they were made. I mean, it's kind of cool stuff. I'm going to do session 3 today. I'll get that uploaded. And there's 26 sessions on this particular Law of One. It's fun stuff. It's amazing knowledge. And some would debate it's possibly some of the most accurate channeled information out there. Hard to say, but it was done under really, really cool circumstances. Anyway, and welcome, our lovely Venice Beach. Very nice. Okay, someone here. Let's see. I sent a letter to my SP last night. He responded, but not in the way I'd hoped for, but it's okay because it was my choice to write and send it and wanted him to know how I feel. I'm just super proud of myself for not wearing my heart on my sleeve. I will say one thing, and Mariana Van Zanten, I want to say that's really awesome of you. Really awesome. A lot of the times, having the courage to do that thing that scares us or that thing that we feel like sometimes you just need to speak your truth. You know, it may work out, it may not. That's irrelevant, really. First and foremost, self-love, speak your truth. And if something's happening that's not right and not appropriate for you and for where you're at in your life right now, and for us to sometimes put our foot down and just say, enough's enough. Again, stopping the flow. We actually give energy in bad ways sometimes to people. I'm not saying this is the case. It's just making a good example. But sometimes people are somewhat abusive or emotionally draining or take advantage of us, right? And we allow it to happen every time they come back to, hey, can I borrow $5? I'll pay you back. And it's like, you never have. And you've borrowed about $105 from me at this point now. Thank you very much, right? So at some point, by us saying, I'm closing this circle, we fix a lot of problems. good on you for speaking your truth. It is very hard to do sometimes and very, very empowering. I hope you did it with respect and love. At least that's my recommendation to anybody out there, but always good times. I love Florence Shin, by the way. Okay, let's see. I started letting the flow thing. I had to take a step back for a few days. I'm just watching it happen now. It's amazing. Augustin Jr. Villagomez, you comment a lot. I like you, buddy. You are 100% right, and that is really what letting go is. I liken it. Here's the analogy I use. I don't know if it's I heard it someplace, probably. I can't take credit for it, but imagine yourself like holding onto a river, right? You got a river, and it's flowing, and there's some bumps, and right, there's rocks, and there's a couple things here and there, but for the most part, fast-moving water. At first, when you let go, you kind of fall down, you hit the ground, you kind of bounce a little, you might hit a thing or two, but eventually you get up and start just flowing with the current, and you just sort of there, maybe sort of floating on the surface, whatever, but you're kind of there. And it's at that point when you really are going with the flow. So it's a little disturbing at first, but truly, once you just let go, life starts to happen and it starts to open up and take shape around you in such cool, cool ways. So hopefully that is, love it, Augustin. Very, very good stuff. Stoic Soul, how to avoid negative consequences from past mistakes. Past is done. So just understand that once you've made a mistake, unless you keep making the same mistake, you're going to keep repeating it, obviously, if you do that. But the only other way to have a past mistake haunt you is by constantly bringing up that past mistake, or you constantly bring up that my mom left me when I was 2, or you constantly bring up you broke up with me, you cheated on me, you blah, 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 right? Like every time we keep bringing something up from the past, we keep it alive. So the way to let the consequences disappear is to, 1, let go of these things that are continuing. Now, if this consequence happens to be a childs are, consequences that last a number of years. Sometimes things stick, and sometimes that's part of life. You can't undo mistakes, or can't necessarily undo a life of at least another child. So it depends on the situation. There's, I've heard of, I'm drawing a blank on, Goddard talks about refining it or changing it. I'm forgetting the term that they use all the time. Lisa Marie's probably going to type it in there. But it's that concept of reshaping what happened, like trying to redefine it as you would like it to be. And when you can do that on your mind, you can actually start to guide and shape your life away from that. And revisions, thank you. Pruning shears are revisions. I don't know if you've actually typed it yet, but it finally hit me. I think someone thought it at least. It helped. Wow, that lag on time. That was like 5 seconds in my world. It's horrible. Anyway, cool. Regarding Law of One, should I pass that and check? This is not the channel for Law of One, Nicole. You can hit me up on an email if you want. If you want to send that to my regular Dan RadioStyle email, that's fine. But I don't want to get too off in the woods on Law of One, though it's very, very cool stuff, and I love the fact that you're asking. Let's see. Now, so does it mean to attract SP you send to yourself, love to yourself, and focus on yourself, and that person will go to you? Does that make sense? It does. You also want to send love to them, too. You want to hold them in high regard. One of the ways I like to look at it is essentially I like to see myself as being the awesome catch for them. Like, I realize how a great catch I am for them. When I can get myself to that place where maybe, they're looking for someone maybe that's outgoing, or maybe they're looking for someone that's funny. I mean, I'm not trying to change myself to them, don't get me wrong, but I know I'm being those things, and I know I'm an attractive person to them. And then on top of that, I'm also attracted to them. So you're creating this reality where the two of you are attracted to each other. And that's where it does get outside of someone having free will, if you will, because you're creating a kind of a separate reality that both of you guys can partake in. And again, it's one of those things where on a soul level, if you're asking them to be like, horrible to themselves or, abuse themselves or something, like they may choose, no, I don't want to do that in this lifetime, but they may very well, be happy to be with you, even though currently they're married or whatever the case is. So you do have a lot of kind of options when it comes to that. I'm changing my tune a little. I've actually been doing some meditating on this stuff, and I'm kind of understanding it from a slightly different perspective. The Sunshine Fee question: how can I react best when someone I really like, whom I thought was single, seems to be taken? I was sad, but I don't want to stop the flow of love. How can I go back to feeling love? Sometimes if this person was kind of enjoying the flirting and enjoying the attention, and they had someone else and then finally opened up and were honest about it, they were kind of enjoying that you were giving them attention and love and all that, and they were getting an experience with you that they weren't getting from home. And one of the problems we have when we keep that alive, even knowing that it's not legit or they're probably not going to leave their person, or that we aren't necessarily fulfilling the whole picture. Sometimes that can kind of create an imbalance. And it's the adage they say, why would you buy the cow if you get the milk for free? It's that concept. Now, it can work to your advantage. One, pulling away sometimes creates this void and vacuum, and sometimes that actual experience causes them to go, yes, but what I had with her is really amazing, and maybe I really should consider getting out of this marriage, and maybe you start helping manifest that. But I think by trying to keep the relationship alive while he's still with another person is dangerous and generally doesn't work out well for the person that is the extra, if you will, right? Him and his wife are primary or girlfriend or whatever. So that's kind of the direction. It's generally we got to be careful, and that's really where self-love comes in, and I kind of am on board with that. I know people want to manifest things sometimes, but if it's disharmonious or if it's not healthy for us, sometimes the answer is no, because we're asking for something that's not okay. And I think this is one of those situations where I would come at it from a different angle than, can't we just pretend everything's groovy and still not do it or whatever. Okay, Ness. So does it mean, oh, you already asked that, okay. Cool. Brittany, channel. Oh, cool. Love it. Thank you for saying that about my new channel. I love it. Stoic Soul. So should I just focus on what I want to happen and banish what I don't want to happen? Am I right? Banishing is a concept that does not work. You cannot make something go away by telling it to go away, or by looking at it and saying go away, or you can't make a thing go away just by go away, you know what I mean? Like you can't resist something is basically what it comes down to. The only way you can have something is to focus on something. Anything you do focus on, even if it's pushing it away or if it's blocking it, I don't want to look at you, you're still giving attention and focusing on that thing, and so we'll stay there. So to banish something doesn't really work, but the way to banish something technically is to no longer think about it. Once that happens, once you finally go, blah, 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 and done to it, then it does go away. It's amazing kind of how those things happen. So you're on the money. I just want to clarify, even though I've done a video recently, words don't matter. They kind of don't, but it's the concept of the words. So depending on what you mean by banish, it'd be my thing. But I think, yeah, hopefully that helps. Let's see. Goddess Angel, I feel you. I'm burnt out with scripting and affirmations. How do I get back to doing them? I mean, obviously the simple answer to that is just pull out a piece of paper and start writing. My guess is, and I've talked about this before, just relative to what I just said, I need to go to the gym. It's my favorite thing to say, because when I say that, I'll find that I'll go a day or two without going to the gym, and I keep saying I need to go, and find myself never going to the gym, and I finally one day will be like, I am going to the gym, and literally I'll go put on clothes and go to the gym, and that's kind of the difference. So sometimes you're maybe you're saying, I need to do this. I need to get back into it. I really need to start doing this again. And yeah, you're not going to ever. No, you'll just keep on needing it. And so change how you're looking at it, or literally pull out a piece of paper, start writing. You're back to scripting, right? So I think it's literally that simple. But if that I need thing, maybe, who knows if that comes in. Dirty Mint. I just love the name. It brings about so many thoughts. I think I have trouble manifesting anything because I have a low view of myself. Finding Neville could be a message that think better about myself. Do you have tips on thinking more of yourself? Yes. First off, remembering when we were happy, remembering when this thing that we don't have right now didn't matter, right? When remembering the things that we've lit up in our lives when we were doing. Maybe it was athletics, maybe it was writing, maybe it was performing, maybe it was playing music, any number, maybe listening to music, playing cards, running around with people, riding your skateboard. I don't know. It might have been something. Going back to some of those activities that we remember as children loving, that we remember making believe or whatever. When we find ourselves kind of getting back in touch with that component of ourselves and spending time with that part of ourselves and nurturing it, meaning doing the things for that part of ourselves that we probably haven't been doing for a long time. That neglect, I liken it, and other people have too. It's not like I'm the first saying this, but I liken it to that childlike part of ourselves. And it's a child, and you have to deal with it as a child. And you can't just rationalize with the child and go, no, you shouldn't eat candy before dinner. Why? Because it's not good for you. It's yummy. Why wouldn't it be, right? Like, you can't rationalize. It doesn't make any sense to them. So you've got to just give that part of yourself the love that it's been neglected. And when you start to do that, when you start to realize that, hey, I deserve this, or hey, I should feel better about things, you'll sometimes look at relationships differently. You'll sometimes look at some of the friends in your life differently. You'll sometimes look at what you accept as okay differently. And when we do, oftentimes we make changes, very cool changes, changes that will alter your life from there on out. So it's a very, very awesome part of this process. The part that frankly is the quote work. I would say this is the part that's the work, and why so many people hate doing it is because it's actually the part where it's like 100% you. Like, if it's taking too long, it's because we're resisting. Like, there's no one else to blame. It's 100% us, and a lot of us are like, no. Much easier when I can blame out over there instead of in here. I don't like that at all. That sucks. So that is that. Let's see here. Nicole back question. I recently created creative gigs at great pay and then had expensive car repairs. I'm super happy to have the money to pay for it, but I am focusing on faith of it as a sign of money flowing. Absolutely. That's completely what it is. And realize that's what it is. It's not just I have to focus and like it's some make-believe or that we're pretending. It's like, no, that is what it is. And by seeing the money flowing means it's coming back to you as well, which is more gigs, higher paying gigs, right? The whole gig, and that's really, especially in the arts, that's really what starts to happen as you expand from, like for me in radio, it was like the first part of radio was volunteer. And then it was, wow, that's all I'm going to get paid. Ugh, hey, geez, that's ridiculous. And then it was like, oh, okay, this is different. I got you. So yeah, it kind of comes out to play that way. There you go. Hopefully it helps. Let's see. Did I still have that? Nope. Okay, so the mistake, Lisa Marie writing something cool. I'm just going to read it. The mistake people make is to feel good meditation or in wish fulfilled. Then they disconnect from the quantum by living in survival, judging, complaining, blaming, etc. for the rest of the day. Yeah, I think I agree. That's like a lot of us, we do really good techniques, and then we just kind of suck at dealing with the frustrations of the day or, the way people talk to us. Or, yeah, I think you're 100% right, Lisa Marie. Let's see. That is there. Cool. Nas, what do you do or say to yourself when you think your manifestation is taking too long and doubting the process? So it's like doubting gravity to me, honestly, the question. So from my standpoint, the question is like, you either kind of understand that you attract what you focus on or you don't, or whatever. Now, if we're in a varying stage of that, then it's just going to take repetition, frankly. I mean, that's just it. I mean, that's how I learned. Repetition, over and over, paying attention. Is like, yeah, I totally play a part in what happens. Does it always play exactly as I say? No. Does it always 100% of the time, do I get exactly what I asked for? Well, the adage goes, sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes the answer is no. So yeah, there's been some times where it seems like I didn't get what I wanted, so I went a different path, different direction, and manifested something even greater. 9 times out of 10, I've been able to look back in hindsight and go, I'm glad that didn't happen. That being the process, once you finally kind of come to terms with the fact that everything happening to yourself is because of you and what you're sending out and what you're consciously believing and aware of, if it's taking a long time, I would start to be like, well, what is going on with myself that doubts this? Or what's going on with myself that doesn't think this is possible? Or what is it that I don't think I'm good enough? Or what is it? And I would try to identify what that is. Once I find it, if I'm not good enough, then maybe some affirmations, maybe look into why don't I think I'm good enough? Do I not think I make enough money? Do I not, like, there's a whole slew. You can really dig down into it. And then once you kind of find the part that needs a hug, give it a hug, go like, no, man, I am good enough. You kidding me? If she doesn't want me, it's her loss, right? And then it kind of, you flow back and you come back from it, and then you realize, no, I deserve this, and it's really part of the self-love process. You almost have to kind of hit that rock bottom of that feeling. You have to, like, dig out that emotional wound, if you will, like, dig it out from all the way down to all the way back up, and then get rid of it, and you're done. And that is actually kind of a cool analogy, because I think that's pretty true to how it plays out. You're like surgically removing it with your affirmation, if you will. Okay, I had manifested my SP after writing intentions 2 months before meeting him. I completely forgot about the intentions, always helpful. And he was the absolute perfect match for me. We stopped talking. Can I manifest him? Of course. Why not? Did it once, why couldn't you do it again? Right? I mean, that's good times. Wow, Stoic Soul. I'm going to have a follow-up question for you, so please put like question or something in it so I can find it easier. But any tips on dealing with anxiety about a bad future? Okay, your future hasn't happened yet. I don't know where you get the idea that you've got a bad future coming unless you're enlisting in the military and you know there's a war coming that the rest of us don't know. I mean, that's possible. Or you know you're going to be placed into a nuclear reactor at some point. I mean, yeah, that's a bad future. But otherwise, I don't understand where you're coming up with this bad future. And if it's a psychic, which is fine, but the future has not happened yet. We decide the future based off what we focus on. If you keep thinking about this bad future, you will definitely make it happen. So that would kind of be the question. If you want to follow up with more, that would be where I would come at it from. Lisa Marie, Dr. Joe Dispenza explains the science behind that and breaking the habit of being yourself. There you go. There's other people that talk about it too, but certainly he's a good one. Let's see. Applethora of me. I mean, interesting. Oh, shoot. Love when I do that. You can be depressed and still manifest. I agree with that too. You can also manifest bad stuff, by the way. By the way, people, we manifest 100% of the time. You're always manifesting. It's just sometimes it's more of what we don't want and less of what we do want. And so sort of a balance. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, I am not seeing a whole lot. There's a question. Cool. I am Wendy with an I. If you guys got more questions, now is a great time to come up with some because we're nearing the end. And maybe this will just be a short one. Question, have you discovered anything by Goddard breaking down the part of the Bible about loving our enemies and blessing those who curse us? Would our astral letters be blessing our enemies? Oh, boy, that's a deeper question in and of itself. Well, first off, enemies are really, if you think about it, we're all one, right? No matter what. So the concept of enemies is like a whole discussion unto itself. I believe no matter what race, creed, color, country, part of the world, I don't even actually care if you're from another planet. I still value you. In fact, if you're a life form, I like trees, I like crystals, I like dogs and cats, right? I don't care what's going on. I have absolute respect for all energies, life forms, everything. So the idea of an enemy to me is like, no, okay, that's kind of not cool. It's not okay. It's never okay to have an enemy. I know there's parts of the world that fight and have issues, and you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm not here to try to solve all those problems, but at the same time, loving one another is definitely a good way to go about it. And people who curse us, if you give them power, then you're the reason that they're happening. Now, I will try to see if I can find places where Goddard talks about that specifically, but cursing us means that you're giving them power to affect you. When you give somebody power to affect you or power over you, it's kind of like the devil in the case, right? You're giving him the power by allowing him. Like a lot of people worry about protecting themselves from the devil, and it's like, well, all you have to do is ask Christ to protect you, right? And I've got many Christian friends, and they're like, well, yeah. And I'm like, so do you doubt that? Do you doubt that works? Well, no. Okay, well, then you should have no concerns about the devil messing with you if you just say, hey, Christ, protect me. I compel you because of Christ, right? Like whatever makes you, take that protection. Protect yourself in the Christ white light. Protect yourself in light and love. Wrap yourself up in something wonderful, and you will find curses don't affect you, and enemies have no power when you don't give it to them. I'm simplifying probably. I get there's cultural aspects, and the world is a much bigger place than I am aware of in my small little, very protected part of the globe, but that being said, and I do accept and understand that. Stoic Soul. What do you do when negative thoughts come in your mind? I replace them with positive thoughts, Stoic Soul, period. That's the end of story. Like, they're going to happen. You're going to have negative thoughts, and then just be like, whoa, I don't want to think about that. Let's think about this positive thought, the opposite of whatever that thought is. A friend of mine offered, and I'll probably do a show at this at some point. This is kind of a freebie for those of you that are here right now, all 100 of you. But friend of mine, it's a way of thinking. We have a hard time kind of thinking, what do we want? A lot of us, I'll be honest, that's one of the harder questions for me is like, what do I want? Someone asked me, what do you want for Christmas? It's like, I had nothing. I'm fine. I'm loving, right? Like, it's hard sometimes for me to come up with what do I want? So one of the things that you can do is you can say, all right, what don't you want? And people can put that list together actually easily. Now, I don't like thinking about it, and this is the discussion I had with them. I don't like thinking about that very long, but it serves a very valuable purpose. By writing a thing or two or three or 5, 10, whatever, things you don't want, what it forces you to do is write the opposite. And the second you write the opposite of the thing you don't want, now you know what you can think about when negative thoughts pop into your head. Think of what you do want. What do you want? Think about that instead. What you place your focus on is what you put power towards. Even if you just a momentary negative, that's right, 5 moments on positive totally outdoes that 1 moment of negative. Totally outdoes it. You're done. You're fine. Move on with the day and know that you way overpowered it, right? It's 20% of what you just did, right? So it's okay. That's no big deal. You're going to win over in the end. That's all it is. So hopefully that helps. It's kind of like manifesting friction, right? Manifesting friction, you can still roll past it. You just pedal a little harder sometimes and you'll get going. You'll get going. Naomi, since I found Neville, I do not resonate with my friends anymore. These people remind me of old state, and I am a new woman in a new state. Snap, girl. I don't want them anymore. Similar experience? Yeah, for sure. I almost have cycles, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, in life where I have outgrown friends, people I've hung out with, and it's really been, I've talked a lot about it, like what you surround yourself with. Just grab like the 5 people you surround yourself with, and that's you. That's you. You can say, they're angry, they're not, right? You could say a lot of things about them, but ultimately, you're hanging out with them. That's you. You are your 5 closest friends. That is the best projection outward of you because you're all like energy. And you all feel the same way and react the same way and get along the same way. So sometimes when we change ourselves, that group of friends, it's got to change. And either they change with us or we change without them. And it just happens that way for sure. That is awesome, Daryl. I am manifesting more likes for you. Thanks, buddy. I need a thumbs up, people. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, if you guys can remember to throw a little like action on the video, if you like it, of course. Sharon Combs. I was a little needy in my relationship and pushed it a little too fast. He has backed away. What should my manifestation focus on? Working on the needing, wanting his attention? Help, please, Dan. Working on the needing of wanting his attention keeps that kind of going. Realizing why you're needing is always, I think, the key on that. But I think it's the self-love component. You got really excited and really into it and realized he's fulfilling this thing that you need and want, right? And that's the thing. Your happiness is placed outside of yourself. You placed your happiness in this individual, or you placed the time frame that you've got on him, and he couldn't get there that fast. Again, people work in human speed. I think we do stuff in a lot of weird ways that sometimes come from the fear they're going to leave us, fear that it's not happening fast enough, fear that they're going to change their minds. Like a lot of times it's just fear, right? And ultimately, we've got to look at that and go, well, if I'm going to love somebody, I've got to let down my guard. Or if I'm constantly walking around in love like this, then I'm going to have problems. Or if I'm constantly holding on and latching on and they're trying to get away and I'm like wrestling them wherever they go, that's a problem too. It is a learning that balance, learning to be happy in your own moments of the day and then appreciating the time with your person when you're together. It's night and day difference. And I think sometimes we place way too much importance on those individuals in our life. Let's see. Thank you. Nothing can come into your 3D world unless it is given enough attention. That's very true. Lisa Marie is on fire today, people. Outgrowing family, too. Now, so Jesse Lemus, and you're on it, man. By the way, I had a friend, I think, last name. I think that was a friend in high school with that name. That's funny. Outgrowing family. Yes, that definitely can and will sometimes happen. What I do want to point out, though, and it's just important, and it's a little reverence, if you will, is being born into that family helped make us who we are, right? Being born into the families we were born into, even when they're crazy or weird or dysfunctional or they put the fun in dysfunction, either way you look at it. These are what shaped us, what made us unique. They're the parts of us that are our fingerprints, right? They're the part of us that makes a difference. And so, yes, we can outgrow them for sure, but we should always be reverent, even when you don't have to hang out with them anymore. Even when the energy was bad, be reverent of the fact that it's made you who you are. It's made you stronger. It's made you outgrow things. It maybe caused you to become very good friends with the psychologist. It manifests in a number of ways, but it's very cool. So anyway, Jesse, I feel you on that 100%. It does definitely happen. Don't give attention to things you don't like. Plethora of me. I swear I don't know. I want to say I'm saying that right. Yeah, don't give attention to things you don't want. And what is the law of one? You should check out my other channel. There's a link below to On the Fringe. And I'm doing a series on it. There's 26 sessions. I've done 2 of them thus far, doing the 3rd one today. And I'll just keep popping them out here over time. They're a lot of fun to do, I think, frankly. And it's fascinating. It's one of the better channeled materials out there. LL Research was the name of the group. You can look it up. There's a PDF link and a number of the videos that I've been doing lately. If you want to just read it yourself, you don't certainly need to wait for me to do it. Movie A. I feel like I can talk about manifestations to people because they keep debunking what I want. Should we talk to others about our manifestation? I'm sure someone's already commented, but yeah, pretty much the fundamental answer is no. In fact, Neville Goddard even says it so much as don't tell people what's going on inside until it's kind of exemplified itself, and then show them. And really, I'm paraphrasing majorly, but that's basically what it's saying is don't tell people what you're doing, because you will find that their doubts, their beliefs, their questions, even when they actually have good intentions, by the way, even when they have good intentions, will ask questions that, good example, specific person, right? They didn't text you back. You sent them a little thing, something special you were planning, whatever. You sent them a text message. They didn't text you back. You're like, nah, everything's probably cool. I'm sure they're busy. I know they are with work. And then your friend's like, so did you text them the thing? Yeah. And you're like, yeah. Did they text you back? No. Huh. That's all they have to say. Huh. And you're off spinning. So no, yeah. Talking to other people, even when their intentions are good, will cause questions to enter into your mind that will make it harder, like it or not. Ultimately, when trying to accomplish something that other people don't believe you can accomplish, you can't listen to other people, or you're going to sit on the sidelines like everybody else while you watch the professional athlete, or while you watch the professional theater playwright, whatever the hell, person on stage, right? Or you'll watch the professional musician perform, and you'll be in the audience because you listen to all your friends. So again, it's one of those things too. If you're trying to create a life, don't let anyone else dissuade you, ever. Their opinions darn near don't matter, frankly. At least that's honestly where I come at it from. Literally, other people's opinions do not matter. I might talk to somebody that's exemplified it. Say I'm trying to get into radio. I might talk to somebody that's a DJ and then ask them questions and be like, all right, what are you thinking? Now, if they say, dude, you don't have a chance, I wouldn't believe them still. I had a guy tell me that when I was in radio. I was like, no, I don't buy that for a second. I'm going to do this. And he was so shocked when I quit and went to the big station and I got to quit his... Oh, it was such a moment. It was one of those moments in life where you just thank God. Anyway, the Beyonce moment. I don't even know what that was. It was probably someone else, I hope, because if I did one, that's on accident. Let's see. Question. I recently created amazing... Oh, you already asked that one. Did I pop way up or something? Oh. Let's see. Yesterday, inanimate objects, doors, furniture kept hurting me. I'm hoping there's intentional humor in that comment because that's actually very funny. I guess that means I need to slow down or just having a big empty room. Yeah, sometimes I feel like it helps me realize that I'm out of sync with my reality, if you will. Like maybe I'm tired, maybe, right? There's something that's just not quite, I'm a little fuzzy, but I'm like bumping into, my subconscious knows exactly where this furniture is. It knows exactly where it is, right? So yeah, when you're bumping into stuff, yeah. Now, when furniture's literally jumping out and taking swipes at you when you're walking by, that's a whole different story. That's kind of cool. Let's talk about that. But yeah, if it's hurting you, not good. Jesse, cool. You're back in there, buddy. I like that. Let's see. Where did I lost people here? Just be grateful inside. Yes, Netrina. That is true. Let's see. Goddess Angel. I focus on good things and nothing is happening in my reality. Nothing is happening in your reality? I'm still waiting on a breakthrough while trying to not be in fear. I believe it is easy, just waiting. So you keep saying I'm waiting. I think you said it like a couple times. Nothing's happening. I'm waiting on a breakthrough I believe it's easy, just waiting. You've got 2 I am waitings in there. So guess what you're going to be doing until you finally say, hey, it's happening. It's unfolding. Isn't it wonderful that? Like there's a lot of different phraseologies, but you've got this very strong belief that you're waiting for something. And waiting can take a long time. Sometimes until we finally say, man, I'm not waiting anymore. And then guess what? Waiting's done. And sort of usually how that plays out. So give a different angle at that, and I think you might find better experience, maybe. Yesterday, that was okay. I already did that one. What is the law of one? I love it. It is, yeah, cool. Why do I feel like I'm hopping up in weird places? I love these Q&As. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Lisa Marie is like huge. Like she's like, I almost feel like you're like my biggest helper. By the way, I love the fact she's in my comments. She's like Lisa Marie knows her stuff. I like to I sandpaper. Sometimes you gotta rub a couple edges, but I love it. I love where you're at with stuff. It's just fantastic. So anyway, it's all good stuff. What's the weather like in San Diego? I'm in between San Diego and LA, by the way, and I don't know. I think it was sort of rainy the last couple days, but it's nice. Little clouds floating in the air. It's beautiful, clean air. Love it. Love it. Good morning, everyone. I'm a huge fan. She's 5'3". You are giant, Lisa Marie. Giant fan. Giant fan at 5'3". That is where you said you're like Santa Barbara or something. Anyway, I think we're getting off track. Yeah, it's cold. Amen to that. If we've got any more questions too, by the way, if anyone's out there kind of planning away on some questiones, that can be a very big difference. Again, not to circle totally back around, but remember what we're sending out. So a lot of us have these questions sometimes, like how can I improve my life? How can I make this go away or that go away? Understand that a lot of the times the way we interact with what's going on around us, the way we react, and I really think it's that. When you catch yourself reacting to anything at all, that button on the dishwasher's still on. Like, well, why didn't you get it the first time? Right? We're reacting. Look at it for a second. Just stop for a second and go, why? And don't continue to send out the whole thing. Yeah. Don't continue to do it. Yeah, is Lisa Marie, was it your birthday last time, or was that Autumn Beauty that had the birthday last live show? I forget who it was. That is fantastic. Wait, you're in Europe? Holy crud. Lisa Marie, you on accent. I love it. That is fabulous. Can we manifest something on some particular date? You can. If you're talking about setting a deadline, I find that that's been less productive in my life and a lot of people I've talked to. So saying that I need to manifest a date with them by a specific point. But if you're hoping to get the courage to ask somebody out, maybe there's an event or a concert or something, and you want the opportunity to be able to do that prior to that event occurring, yeah, I've found that actually can work a little better because there's actually a physical stop. It's not us just drawing a line in the sand and just saying, it's got to happen by here or forget it. And I don't consider holidays to be legitimate lines in the sand, unfortunately. I don't think the universe does anyway. Let's put it that way. But I think legitimate, like a concert or, something cool like that, oftentimes will be a good place to set it up. Autumn Beauty was your birthday last time. Gotcha. All right. December 2nd, this Monday. Happy birthday, Lisa Marie. You and Autumn Beauty are right there. That's pretty cool, I think. 16th of November. Was it that long ago? Oh, shucks. Let's see. Christina. Hey, you're later today. Oh, that's someone else you're talking. Nice. That sounds so delicious. All right. You guys I'm loving it. Well, Jason, do you got a question real quick? It looks like we're closing out. I don't know unless you guys kind of got some questions, but you guys are just... Oh, so here's a good one. I am Wendy with an I, not with a Y, people. Hello. Would scripting be a good way to help people in your life raise their vibration? I.e. a family member who drinks too much to ditch their needs to drink. I will find that if you focus more on yourself in life, you will be amazed at how much bigger a difference you can make in the people around you than by trying to change them. People, for the most part, are expressing a version of themselves relative to you. And that kind of can create all sorts of different dramas that will exist. So by working on ourselves, by worrying about making sure we're being the best version of the highest vision we ever held about ourselves, you will actually find that you will do way more to affect other people than the option that you're talking about. But scripting is something you can do. Any number of techniques can, but again, you're trying to change someone else, and really, you can't. You can only change yourself, and then you can change yourself. You can influence other people, but you can't really force people to be something that they're not. But you can get people to agree to be something with you that you both can be together, and that's oftentimes very fun. Let's see. I did not see the phone slide across the floor, and it is carpeted. What the? Oh, okay, that was a thing. Something else, probably. Brown rice in Japan. The name needs to be called out. Do you think that daily meditation is essential for manifesting? I think daily meditation is healthy or is essential for healthy life. I think it helps us keep our energy in place. I think it helps us get some of the noise out of our heads. I think it helps us kind of, make more of our day. by starting it off on the right foot. So I think meditation is extremely powerful. Now, do you need like 12 hours of it a day? No, I don't think so. I mean, a few minutes can be good, sometimes longer. Depends what you need, depends where you're at, depends if you just want to have a good meditation and really like, do it, then, it's up to you. But I think without a doubt, meditation is a hugely important part of a healthy life and manifesting and everything else. Vonda McKenzie, Lisa Marie's talking. Okay. Does anyone get really annoyed or irritated sometimes by other people's insecurities? I try to respect and love as much as I can, but insecurities from other people make me go crazy. Haha. So movie A, other people are probably going to say this too, but ultimately when we notice other things in other people, you're pointing, right? The whole point a finger at someone, you got three pointing back at you. There's some insecurities in yourself that you're probably not noticing or acknowledging, and other people are sort of being a movie screen for you. So you can fix those insecurities on your side, and then once you do, you won't notice other people's insecurities anymore. They kind of tend to disappear. It's pretty cool how it plays out. And again, I hope that's cool. I hate when I say things that maybe aren't quite what people were expecting. She's located in Singapore. It's always sunny there, except when it's raining, right? Doesn't it rain a lot in Singapore? I think it does. I don't know. I've never been there. I've heard it's a beautiful country, though. Nice artwork in the background. I love this picture, by the way. A lot of people ask me about it. He reminds me of my master teacher. I'm very into like magic and all that kind of, like Merlin-y type stuff. So that's kind of what it represents to me. And it makes for a decent backdrop compared to just a white wall or semi-white wall. I'm finding contrast helps us create ourselves more, and is a sign to meditate or just relax. Yeah, Christina, I definitely agree. I think contrast is super cool. Like, some people freak out. Contrast is awesome. Really is. Like, I don't want to stay there when I experience it. I don't enjoy it, but I see it for what it is. It just signifies that, my thinking's been off, something's out of whack, something's not quite right, I've got a doubt on this, there's something that's showing itself to me, and it's awesome. Or it's going to help me appreciate the opposite even more so. Either way, it just works out to be a good helper. The Sunshine Fee is saying something really cool, because you're starting off with I am, and I love that. So I am a good listener and always attract people who want to tell me their problems. I don't like that. I want to attract people who are balanced. And I also give and not only take. How can I change that? So let me rewrite your sentence, and that's how you change it, right? So I am a great listener, and I always attract some of the most interesting people that tell me all sorts of stories about things that I never knew or understood. Very easy. Just change the way you write your sentence. Instead of I'm a good listener who always attracts crap people, I am a good person who always attracts awesome people. And watch what happens. That traffic signal that's always red, it's always green. Watch, it's weird how that light's always green. Try it. It's amazing when we change what we're sending out. Kind of going back to my original point. Makes a big difference. You can successfully manifest 2 relationships at once. You sure can, Skylar. And it's funny because we were just watching a show that it was a Quantum Leap, and it was like years ago that it was done like 90s, early mid-90s. And there was a lady that was in Breaking Bad that was the wife, Skylar, I think was her name. And anyway, so I was just talking about it. It's kind of funny because she was actually in that years ago. It was like, who is that person? I totally recognize her. Rohit R, please tell us about your instant manifestation experience. Oh, who's this? Who's saying they manifested something instantly? That's awesome. I hope you're not saying me, because I've certainly never said that. I love hearing unexpected things. I will take your advice and work on myself. You're awesome. You're good with the questions. Love it. Norway. Oh, okay. Very cool. I like that. Going to work with that. All right, Sunshine Fee. Cool. All right, well, hey, you guys, it looks like we've kind of more or less gotten to the end. I don't know. We'll see if any questions pop up real quick, but you guys are, looks like you're done with me, and we will continue on the life that we all enjoy. Let's see what this, I don't even know what song this is. I got to make sure it's like not the wrong music. So I got like all sorts of good stuff in here too. Anyway, thank you guys. Yeah, please do check out the other channel, Augustin, if you don't mind. And anybody that's still here, there's a link below. On the Fringe is the channel. And I'd really appreciate if you guys could at least subscribe. I just need to get those numbers. I got to get my subscriptions up over 1,000, and then everything's cool. Then we just let it kind of just take its own life. But anything you can to help. And then Law of One's something I'm doing a big discussion on. I've talked a lot about it. It's something I love very much. Hard reading, hard and challenging, but good stuff nonetheless. So we'll see. Hopefully you guys. Peace to you all, dude. Brittany, you continue being awesome, sweetheart, and I'll do it as well. That's how that works. Martinez Sestre, thank you. Thumbs up, 3 of them. And yeah, you guys are the best. Thank you, everybody. Mr. Pincock, thank you, sir. Jason, I'm assuming. Is that your real last name? Pretty crazy. Pretty girl, cheers to you as well. Cheers, mate. Or just cheers. Thank you, guys. You're the best. We'll do another one of these next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Stan Radio Style.